Hello, everyone. My name is Chance Brunton, and welcome back to Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward. I'm joined once again by Tyler.
Hello.
In the last episode, we got a terrifically shocking surprise when we took Kay's helmet off finally and discovered we were looking into a mirror, basically, because Kay is also us. And I don't know how that happens. I thought for sure he was going to be Dio. It turns out he was a clone. He just wasn't a clone of the person we thought it was. But he did give us some very critical information before we both died at a horrible death, which is that he told us the password for the computer that's blocking us on the far left route. Combined with the supposed username of the robot designation that we got, which I think is a username for it, we should be able to unlock this computer in the left route. So that's what we're going to do.
He also indirectly gave us the recipe of mixing milk with ravioli to make milkavoli.
Yes. Which I guess is whoever's computer this is, that must be their favorite snack if they wanted to make that their password. All right, so we skip through all this leading up to it. Now the question is, do we remember the password? And yes, we do. The harder thing to remember is the username. GTFDML016.
Yeah.
Password, milkavoli.
Yeah.
You can remember it like that. I see what you mean now. It worked! So this is 016's computer, presumably. Fi, come over here.
What's wrong?
I got in.
What?
She didn't expect that, did she?
How did you figure out the login?
I don't know. I just knew it.
What the hell do you mean you just knew it?
I just knew it means I just knew it. You gave me the same line when I asked you how you knew my name.
Why are you bringing that up? It doesn't have anything to do with this.
It's exactly the same as this. You sure? It might.
What? I don't...
Two people very confused, not knowing what they're doing. Look, just forget about that. Come take a look at this.
Sure. Fine. Just let me get right on that. Are you out of your damn mind? Tell me what the hell is going on here? Why do you know how to log into this computer?
Are you even listening to me? And then after some time passed, we didn't have time to look at the computer, so we just left and went back to the AB game.
Yeah.
We continued to yell at one another for several more minutes. But no matter what Fi asked me, I could never come up with an answer that satisfied her. Why is it that we never remember the route where we learn about the jumping? Because that would save us a lot of time if we could just remember that.
Yeah. So then that would require this end to have you go to the jump area.
Sure. Eventually, she seemed to give up.
Fine. You still don't make any sense, but I don't think you're lying.
Damn right I'm not.
And the AB game deadline isn't getting any further away. All right. Let's see what this thing has for us. Where are we supposed to start? Looks like there's tons of stuff in here.
Wait, what? I was like looking through the code, seeing if there was anything that would pop up, and suddenly a line did pop up at me.
Yeah.
Or poke, I guess. Something, pulked artifacts from the shipwreck will. That's actually a line. Right. Artifacts from the shipwreck will. Something. Yeah. And does that continue anywhere else?
Up one line and to the left, there's the largest exhibit of something as well, but a lot of it looks like gibberish.
Captain Kidd was found something I can't read because the dialogue's in the way. About 225,000 pieces and at least 25 something. Is this like a distorted version of the article about the ship where all ice sank or something? And all the artifacts being transported on it?
Maybe. There's also like a little bit at the top left, like strategies for discs, and then according to...
This is definitely not just random gibberish. There is some kind of article here that has been garbaged up.
And like right above Phi's picture, public and raise awareness of.
There's some kind of message in here that's been screwed up, but I don't know if there's enough visible for us to back out what it was.
Yeah. Is Captain Kidd a
tell me the idea that you
character
put
from
in?
something as well? Because that would tell us something.
Captain Kidd is a commonly used name. There's an actual historical figure, Captain Kidd.
Okay.
They could be referencing the historical figure. They could be referencing any number of characters that are derived from that.
Mm-hmm.
I can try searching for that. Maybe we'll get a hit.
I gave her what she'd asked for. GTF DML016. Her search returned several files, and after examining them for a moment, Phi opened one.
So Golem was Golem-type male Cockney model. Golem.
Oh, so Golem-type female...
something model.
Direct message.
And then just nothing of importance.
Cup size. It's Alice. Alice is the robot. No. Golem unit details. Are these product specifications for a golem?
Looks like it.
Whatever the hell they say. So was GTF DML016 a golem's ID?
Don't ask me. You seem to know more about all this than I do. Fine, whatever. Just read the file. Maybe it'll make more sense. Let's see here.
Luna!
Yep.
Oh, why didn't I think of that with L?
Doctor model Luna.
Doctor model. Oh. This makes sense. And then she's the assistant as the golem. Yeah. Luna.
Yeah.
Why is there a picture of Luna in this file?
There's something written underneath it. It says, appearance after application of ABT.
ABT? ABT?
There's this special artificial biological tissue what's called ABT. When a golem's all new and shiny, they've got a nice suit of ABT over that metal skeleton. Makes it look right human, it does. Even feels like real skin, with pores, a little bit of hair, and a few pimples, scars and the like. Truth to tell, I doubt you'd be able to tell the real from the fake, even if it was right in front of you. See, right in the middle of...
And that's when he died.
I see. Luna was a golem.
So if we count Luna as a living person, then he kind of counts too, doesn't he? So there was actually 11 of us in this facility.
Yeah, I guess.
And DML016 was her product ID.
That must have been what Golem was trying to tell us when he was stopped.
Yeah. Because he was Golem-type male Cockney model.
Mm-hmm. Why would Luna be in the game?
I don't know how autonomous she really is, but I find it hard to believe she would have come here of her own free will.
So you're saying she was sent here by Zero Senior?
Probably. Look. At the bottom of the screen, it shows her current status.
Currently operational. Executing special mission? You think her special mission is to participate in the game?
Probably.
So why did Zero Senior want a robot as a participant? You think maybe it was to supervise the rest of us? Maybe if something unexpected happened, she was supposed to correct it or something.
What if it was some kind of Voight-Kampff test?
A what?
It's from an old book. A test to see how human she was. Whether or not 8 people would be able to figure out she was a robot. That might almost explain the whole game, actually. Making us solve puzzles and play the AB game. All of those things could have been designed to give us a chance to see her true nature.
So it's kind of like the Chinese room.
Yeah. Luna is the girl locked in the room, and the 8 of us are the people outside it. Well, like I always say...
It's just a possibility, right?
All what matters is if the person next to you does what a human ought. Looks like a person, acts like a person, and talks like a person, then it's probably a person.
She was... the, girl in the Chinese room thing also did have the same hair as Luna.
The same what?
She had the same hair color as Luna, and I think the same style and stuff.
Oh, right. Well, if this is the case, then I will say that she's close, probably close enough, but I mean, from the get-go, we were very suspicious about the fact that she would never attempt to vote.
Yeah.
Or do anything about voting, even when it was to her own detriment or, to, other problems. She never interfered with voting. And that was just downright suspicious. So I would say that if that's really what this was about, then there is one small problem. When did you figure it out? That she was a how did they say it? A golem? Golem, I mean.
Right now. I didn't know until I saw this stuff.
You're lying. When I told you about what happened with Golem in the pantry, you said something about how this game might be like, sort of like the Chinese room.
I don't know why I said that. It just felt like it made sense.
Like you just knew it?
Yeah. Look, forget about that. See Luna's status?
Yeah, it says the same thing it did a minute ago. Currently operational. Executing special mission. Whoa! Wait! What the hell? Means she's alive. Luna's
Do you
dead!
think robots die? She was only injected with muscle relaxant.
So she's just
10 minutes
faking it?
remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Does she know she's faking it?
Probably.
Or that would mean she knows she's a robot.
Mm-hmm.
And she's acting in the way to try and keep pretending to be human.
All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before...
Of course! Luna's the one who opened the AP gate.
That might not be the only thing she did. Look,
What do you
what
mean?
are the last 3 digits of her product ID?
016.
And where have we seen that before?
No. No, I don't believe it. Are you saying it was Luna who handcuffed Clover and Temioji?
We should go check her body. You remember where it is?
The crew quarters. Of course I remember. So where are we at in this route?
Everyone is dead, except for you and Phi, and Pork is missing.
Right.
And this was the route where we pretty much know Clover injected Luna, because she thought she killed Alice.
Yeah, that makes sense. We were right.
Yeah.
Why? Why would Luna...
Because, like, the
I trust
things
him.
switched around, the AB rooms switched around, which is
And
like,
because it was Luna's AB room.
yeah,
So Luna killed the old woman.
that's what Clover thinks, but Dio already confessed to that.
No, yeah, you're right, he did. So Luna just hid the body?
Yeah, or maybe at least. Someone operated the crane, and Luna we thought was with us entirely, but if she's a robot, she might have more control outside of that.
Right.
So then
5 minutes
the question
remain
of why would she hide the
until
body?
Ambidex game polling closes.
What?
Then that still leaves the question of why she would hide the body, though I guess it wouldn't incriminate her
Yeah,
to
that's
be
what I'm
found there.
wondering.
Let's go. The game hasn't stopped. If we don't vote, we're going to get penalized.
Right. Off we go then. But it should just be an easy betray, right? Or are we opposite each other?
You're facing each other off, but if we're right about why Luna hasn't ever, like, attempted to do anything, she might not be able to betray.
Oh wait, we're facing Luna?
Yeah, because
Invalid
this was the
head
route where
detected.
you were always with, Phi against with Luna, I mean,
Right.
on one side.
Please retry with valid partner.
Oh yeah. Forgot about this thing.
Right. Luna's bracelet.
Yeah, with her bracelet, there's 3 in this room. I stepped outside. and set Luna's bracelet down, then headed back into the AB room.
For a second, I thought I might just be proven wrong and that you were actually
2
with
minutes
Luna against
remain
Spy.
until
This is the way that
polling
was set up.
closes.
All right, I'll go ahead and hit the start button. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Pressing start. So I think it's safe to assume
Wait.
that she's going to grab the bracelet and go into the other AB room.
She wouldn't
Seema.
need to grab... I guess she might need to grab the bracelet, but
I think she'd need it for the system to recognize it properly, but...
Yeah.
Huh? Luna!
1 minute remains until Ambidex game polling closes.
Wait. What the hell is going on? Why is Luna here?
She's probably planning on participating in the game.
You mean she's going to take the bracelet and go into one of the other rooms?
Yeah,
How's she going to vote?
betray. I'm sure of it. Why else would she have come here? If she wanted to vote ally, she could have just waited for the deadline to pass.
She's got 7 BP, right?
Yeah. Why are you asking, though? Her BP doesn't matter right now.
She doesn't need to betray to get out. What?
Have you totally lost it? She doesn't have her bracelet on. And besides, she's a golem. She isn't trying to get out. Whether she has 9 BP or not doesn't mean anything to her.
Then why is she doing this?
Isn't that obvious? She wants to keep our BP below 9. Say she defaulted to ally. We could choose whatever we wanted, and we'd still get 9 BP. She's here to make sure that doesn't happen.
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
And I trust him.
2, 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what is Luna gonna do?
yeah, you've got the conflicting images of her being like really nice all the time, and then what Fi's saying about like killing Clover and coming here to betray.
So, Dio killed the old woman. Dio killed Alice to try and cover up.
Yeah, or
Yes.
Alice suicided, maybe.
Maybe. We'd have to go back and look at the body to see which one it was in this route.
Well, if you think it's based off of the knife, then you think Dio killed her in this route.
Yeah. And so then, either way, nothing to do with Luna. Quark is just missing. Presumably he's in a pod or something?
Yeah, and Clover and Tenmyoji were chained up with something that looked
Dio-
like 016 on them.
Yeah, I was coming back to that. I was just like eliminating the other things first. Because then Kay and Dio killed each other. So everyone else's deaths have nothing to do with her.
hmm
The two that might is Clover and Tenmyoji. Now, Clover attacked Luna first.
Hmm.
So that might change things. And then I'm not sure how exactly Tenmyoji gets involved in that. Because I'm trying to think about what Luna's motivations might have been.
Mhm.
And what kind of mindset she might be in. I could believe that if she's autonomous, she may wish to actually get out. But, at the same time, if she is just working as a pawn, it's not necessarily the case. She's never wanted to do any deciding in the games before. She's only ever allied people. But this route, she's already kind of gone off script if she's actually killed Clover and Tenmyoji.
Hmm.
So, it might just be that the gloves are off now, in which case she is going to vote betray. But if she is a part of the game, I don't know that she's necessarily malicious. Because, Zero orchestrates the games to achieve something non-malicious. Usually, involving, dirty tactics. Zero, expects people to die, but,
Yeah.
They're not Zero is not conventionally, just, a murderer or a bad person. They do things with reason and a plan. And so I would think that, Zero's assistant is not just a cold-blooded killer, but only does things with a purpose. That's kind of why I was thinking about, well, Clover attacked her first. So maybe killing Clover had something to do with retribution for that. And then Temioji got in the way of it. Again, that's nothing to do with us, so I don't know that she would have any reason to have a grudge against us. And if she were trying to get out, she's at 7. She could vote to ally. What did we have to do to get to this route? Did we betray her?
You had to ally Luna and then pick to go against Luna and ally her again. And then...
Oh, so we've never betrayed her in this route.
Yeah. Which, you're at 7, so that only makes sense if you got 2 plus 2s anyways, so...
Is Fi also at 7, or where's Fi?
I think she's at 7.
So...
I forget what her second round was.
If we all allied, we'd all have 9?
I think so.
I think I'm gonna have faith in Luna. But then I hear you smile, and then I start to doubt whether I should have faith in Luna. But I'm going with my gut reaction. I think I should have faith in Luna. And we're going to see if it comes back to bite us. But I'm willing to buy that she is still a good person despite being a robot, and that she might have killed Clover.
Been completed.
I'll be honest, depending on the ending, Clover and Temioji have both done things that can possibly deserve that. And we don't know the context of what's happened. So...
Hey, Sigma! Are you insane?
Plus, to be fair, if we're both on 7, then we actually have plenty of room to be playing with this.
Yeah.
Why the hell did you choose ally?
Although I will admit that I hadn't even considered that before I pressed the button, but still.
Yeah.
Wait! We can talk about that later. Right now. The results.
Yeah. And this is an interesting face screen.
What?
When the faces pop up.
She's gone. Where'd she go?
That's odd. We came out the moment the gates opened. There's no way she could have left already.
Then she never went in? There it was. I thought so. She didn't pick it up. Without the bracelet, she couldn't have voted.
Then she let the system vote ally for her?
Interesting.
Results
So right to the end, she wouldn't vote.
Of the Amberdex game will now be displayed. Please direct.
Right, the results.
Yeah. Let's go have a look.
So interesting. Either way, then I guess we would have gotten out. Ally or betray. But this way, she has the points as well.
Yeah, there's Fi's face all alone.
Yeah, it didn't even occur to me until just now that Sigma doesn't even get it.
Yeah.
His face on there.
It's interesting though that there's like death things, because we usually never see
This is the first time we've
those.
seen that, isn't it?
Yeah, we've never seen one of those, which is weird because we have definitely had Alice dead as a solo at some point, and probably a couple of others like that.
I guess we have, yeah. That is weird. This also is weird because this implies now that this display can do other colors. They're just choosing intentionally. Just use these colors.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, 999. Good callback.
Have been assigned. Please.
Since Luna didn't vote, she got set to ally automatically. And the other 6 got penalized.
Oh, it's because they didn't open up they didn't vote, that's why.
Oh.
It's not because they were dead.
Yeah, everybody gets penalized, but they're all dead anyway. And Quark's not wearing his thing.
Yeah.
Then again, 5 of them are already dead. We don't know where Quark is, but his bracelet's already off.
Yeah, that means all those penalties are meaningless. Why did Luna show up then? I mean, we've got our 9 BP now, but...
She also didn't stick around to see the result.
Alright, what do you want to do, Sigma? Do you want to leave?
What? You're kidding, right? Weren't you the one who kept going on about how Quark's still alive? I can't just run off and leave him here.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well...
Then Fi's gonna go.
That's a relief. I was hoping you'd say that.
Oh. Because now we have the problem that Luna has 9, so she could theoretically open the door anytime she wants. So if we run off to look for Quark, that's a possibility.
Now let's get moving. We need to find Quark.
And Luna too, right?
Luna.
The ambidex gates have closed. Round 4, star keys.
Yeah, it's still the star round. Pair and solo. Okay. Phi and I checked our bracelets out of sheer reflex. I was a magenta pair, just like before, but Phi had been changed to a red solo. It didn't really matter, though. Both of our bracelets showed the number 9. All we had to do was open the number 9 door, and we'd never have to play another AB game again.
All right. Quark comes first. Let's go.
She spun around and headed for the cyan door. I mean, whoever we find comes first. I followed on her heels. We can't just selectively search for one person.
Yeah.
Although, maybe we could start in the Golem Bay for Luna. Maybe she'd return there for a quick charge? Or maybe we'll just do a quick tour of all the bodies that we've left behind. I wonder where we would dispose of the bodies in an ending where we have to stick around.
Yeah. There's not exactly a fire or something that we can burn them or anything like that.
No. The warehouses are empty, otherwise I'd think, well, maybe you could make a crate and turn it into a grave.
Yeah, or you could, like, hide them in the AB rooms, sort of, because you probably don't want to go in those much.
I suppose, yeah. You could just turn the AB rooms into tombs.
Sigma, there's something I want to ask you.
What is it?
There are 3 doors here. You, Alice, and Luna went through the one on the right. That took you to the Golem Bay, correct?
Yeah. According to the map, that's the door on the bottom. There's a lever on that thing in the middle, right? We pulled it, but it only opened one of the doors. What about it? Oh, you know, I guess we've never seen anybody pull a lever multiple times to see what happens.
Yeah.
Because Rusty posted a comment on one of the episodes where he was suggesting that maybe something in the bracelets decides which door opens, depending on which bracelet pulls it.
Yeah, maybe the person decides it, but I mentioned this in that episode, but I wanted to see if it was points, and that didn't add up to when I was playing.
I guess either way, that would explain how that second door gets opened if somebody different pulled the lever, like Luna comes along and pulls the lever.
I don't know when you pull the lever or other people pull the lever, though.
Yeah, you'd have to, like, map it out on a chart to, like, figure it out.
Take a look. See the lock?
I was also assuming that regardless of color, if you have, like, let's say 6, you would always open the door on the right or something like that, but...
Open?
Yeah.
Then who the hell opened it? And how?
There's only one person who could have opened it.
Luna.
All right. Let's head in.
Okay. Luna's looking after Quark. What the heck are these things?
I think they're treatment pods of some sort.
What-mint pods? Oh, we never opened this in this... I see. Even as I spoke, part of me knew what they were. I didn't know how or why, but I felt a strong sense of déjà vu when I looked at them, and suddenly realized I knew exactly how to operate the pods. It was a strange, unsettling feeling, as if somewhere deep inside was a version of myself that I didn't actually know.
One of them is lit up.
The one on the left. Is it being used?
The glass is all fogged up. I can't really see inside.
Oh, that's
Let's crack it open,
glass.
then. Yeah, I guess. Frosted glass. Quark! With his bracelet off. Alright, grab him and run to the door. I guess that's exactly what we're doing. I thought they'd say something about it, but... Our feet pounded across the floor of the warehouse.
This is it.
Quark's body bounced in my arms as I ran. His pulse and breathing were normal. He was limp and unconscious, but he was alive. The pod's display had given us little information on his condition. As far as we could tell, he'd been given an anesthetic which had put him to sleep.
Ready? What's wrong? You're supposed to say, yeah, sure.
What about Luna? Is it really okay for us to just leave?
What the hell is this? You want to stay here? What if Luna kills you too?
What?
Think about it. Alice, Clover, Tenmyoji, the old woman, even Dio and Kay. There's a good chance Luna killed all of them.
No, I think several of them, at the very least, she didn't. But why?
Why doesn't matter. Remember what we saw on Clover's thigh?
016.
And what's that the same number as?
The last 3 digits of Luna's product ID.
Where did we find the old woman's corpse?
In the AB room that Luna came out of.
And if you're right, her brain is in the central computer core.
So I guess she can't get very far, can
she?
she?
Move that crane, right? She could have used it anytime she wanted.
I don't think she had admin privileges. That means any alibi she might have for not being able to move the crane is worthless.
Exactly. She must have moved the AB room. Alice noticed it right away. At the very least, that would mean Luna had a reason to try and kill Alice.
To keep her quiet.
She could also have murdered Dio and Kay. Remember their star keys? Luna must have taken them, which puts her in the room with Dio and Kay. You understand, don't you? I admit none of this evidence is conclusive. But look at our options. You, me, Quark, and Luna. Who do you think is the most likely to be the murderer? Think this through, Sigma. Luna's a golem. That means she's a robot that's part of this facility, designed to do God knows what. If what you said about golems and the central computer is true, she's basically a puppet of Zero Junior's. There isn't really much of an argument to be made here. The only option is to leave her here and get out.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
Have you ever heard of the 3 laws of robotics?
A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm.
A robot without the 3 laws is just a bunch of metal and plastic.
Does she obey them? Okay. You're right. Let's get out of here. So in that case, her only excuse for killing Clover and Tenmyoji, the only way that would work is if the 0th law of robotics caused her to do it. If somehow killing them was in the best interest of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure how she figured that.
Damn. Don't scare
Luna
me
doesn't
like
know
that.
if she actually followed the 0th rule, though, because that's what it said in the file.
Yeah, she doesn't know it, but it did say in the file that whether or not she knew it, she did follow it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not 016 was aware of this law is unclear, but in any event, 016 did act in accordance with it.
So I guess it's slightly different from what I said, but yeah.
Yeah, it's unclear whether she's aware that she had to do that. But regardless of whether she was aware of the rule, it is what she did. So she did choose. I read this as she chose to act in the best interest of humanity, whether or not she actually knew she needed to do that.
Okay, I'm going to open it. You ready?
You don't have to ask me. Isn't that what you always say?
Yeah, I guess so. It's time we got out of here. Let's go.
She should have gone 3, 2, 1. Isn't that what you always say? And then pulled it. With a heavy, labored groan, the number 9 door began to open. As soon as the gap was wide enough to admit her body, Phi slipped through it. I followed her through, Quark still cradled in my arms. Inside was a massive lift platform, like the kind used to move industrial cargo. Phi turned to face me, and I shoved Quark into her arms.
Huh?
Before she could respond, I spun around and ran. We're staying? Because Luna trusted us.
The number 9 door has been opened.
Well, it's more like we trust
It will
Luna,
remain open
which
Yeah.
might be
for
because she
9
trusted us.
seconds.
Yeah.
Sigma! What the hell are you thinking? Get back here!
Sorry, Phi. There's something I have to do. Take care of Quark.
No!
Or maybe we're
You don't
killing
mean-
Luna.
Yeah.
You're going to go find Luna? God damn it, Sigma! Think about what you're doing! Sigma! Listen to me! You can't do this!
So we're gonna be stuck here forever.
You can't leave me alone with the kid.
Yeah. That was my first inclination when we're like, Phi, take care of Quark, and the first thing out of her mouth is, no! I'm not taking care of him!
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As escape, please.
Alright, well, Luna, you'd better give us some good info for the other route. I had no regrets. In fact, with Phi and Quark's successful escape, I felt a profound sense of relief. One of my objectives had been achieved, and a difficult choice had been made. My mind felt clear and focused, more so than it had in a long time. Alright, time to go. Luna's waiting. I'm really curious what's going to happen in the Betray Luna route, because you'd think it would go the same unless she retroactively votes.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember what happened.
Yeah. Or if in a Betray Luna route, I doubt we'd double back for her, but... Luna, I knew you'd be here.
You knew?
Oh, right. We haven't talked here in this one, huh?
Isn't this nice? This is the only place in this whole facility with anything green. I kind of feel silly saying it, but it makes me think of the great outdoors. I think it's the perfect place for a serious conversation. Being surrounded by nature makes me feel happy. I'm not sure what you meant just now, but are you talking about something that happened in another history?
What?
I know what you can do. Someone told me about it once. They said that you have the ability to transport your consciousness through time.
Who told you that? Luna looked down at the music box around her neck. Carefully and delicately, she twisted the dial on the bottom. Well, at least this makes things really easy if she already knows that bit.
Sigma, aren't you here to ask me something? Why I killed them, perhaps?
Well, actually, I already know you didn't do it.
Oh? Why do you think I didn't do it? I'd like to know your reasoning.
Well, I mean, I think you did 2 of them, but... Alright. I nodded and took a moment to compose my thoughts. Might as well start with the old woman. There's no point beating around the bush, I suppose. Dio killed her.
Why do you think so?
Because he admitted it. Also, her left arm had blood splatter all the way up to the elbow, except for a stripe on the wrist that was perfectly clean. What could have caused that? My guess is a bracelet. It got covered with blood and kept her wrist clean. Obviously, none of our bracelets had blood spatter on them, but Dio's bracelet reacted to the luminol. That meant Dio's bracelet had to have come from the old woman.
Is that your proof? That's why you think Dio killed her?
No, that's only enough to suspect him. After all, he could have just taken the bracelet after someone else killed him.
Then why are you so sure?
Because he confessed. I think we should have started with that one.
What?
After his bracelet reacted to the luminol, I confronted him.
Alright, fine. You caught me, I did it. I killed the old bitch and took her bracelet.
In order to get to this route, you need to get through like 5 other endings or like 6 other or something, so you've got a lot of knowledge.
Yeah. And thank God, Sigma at least remembers the bit about being able to jump as well.
Yeah, because you have to do Sigmas, which requires Alice's, which requires Dio's. You have to do K's, which requires Clover's. So,
yeah.
At least 5.
I mean, it is the second to last route in the game.
Yeah.
I guess this is why when I asked you if, like, we entered the password early because you know it, if we would, you know, like, jump a lot of stuff, and you're like, oh yeah. We would jump a lot.
When did that happen?
In a different timeline.
Isn't that against the rules?
What rules? I hope you're not going to try and bring up Nox's 10 Commandments. What?
I think those are the
Nox's?
things about the mystery novel.
Oh.
Right. The rules of the killer.
That would make sense. Does it really matter if it's against the rules or fair? The truth is the truth. Let's say that incident P happens, and after that the timeline splits into Timeline A and Timeline B. Ally and betray. I don't think it's unfair to base a theory in Timeline A based on the information I found in Timeline B. After all, A and B both came from the same place, B. Not that we've already disproven this as a possibility, because we've seen that we can change the events of the past based on our decision.
Yeah.
If you traced the history of both timelines, you'd end up back at Incident P. Now, if I could change what happened with Incident P by visiting Timeline A or B, then yes, it'd be a different story. It'd be the story we actually have.
Yeah.
I don't know that it'd be unfair, per se, but I'd certainly be breaking some pretty big rules. Like, you know, the principle of causality that we've already broken. I'm sure that Dio killed the old woman. By extension, that means you couldn't have killed her. I'm assuming Dio wasn't originally intended to be a part of the nonary game. Somehow he got in and took the old woman's place. That's how he ended up as Quark's partner. This is just an educated guess, but I have a feeling his plan was to replace one of us. I doubt it mattered which one. I have no idea why he would want to do something like that, and I don't know how he did it either. But the fact remains that he did. He hid in the warehouse on floor A and waited for someone to come out of one of the AB rooms. That someone turned out to be the old woman. She left Quark asleep in the AB room and came out on her own. Somehow he managed to get close enough to stab her. He did it near the wall with the graffiti on it. I'm guessing he stabbed her from behind so that he wouldn't get any blood on himself. As soon as she was dead, he wrapped the knife up in the handkerchief. No, wait, actually. He probably took the bracelet first. Then he would have needed to wipe the blood off, so he used the handkerchief for that too. Anyway, the point is, he got the bracelet and put it on. Then he wrapped the knife up and hid it between the rightmost AB room and its neighbor. He probably didn't expect that they'd move, or he would have put it somewhere else. After that, he headed back into the AB room that the woman had left. Quark would have still been fast asleep, so as far as he knew, Dio was there the whole time. This does raise a few other questions, but I'll save those for later. For now, let's move on to the other murders. Well, actually, one of them probably isn't a murder.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about Alice. I'm pretty sure she committed suicide.
All of humanity is going to die. Adults, children, everyone. Everyone! There won't be anyone left! I'd rather die here!
She'd been infected with Radical 6. I think that infection caused her to take her own life. She used Dio's knife, which she'd found in the warehouse after the AB room moved, and exposed it. She took it with her, and then used it to stab herself in the crew quarters. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense,
Yeah.
actually. But Dio probably did take the knife back because he didn't want it just floating around.
Yeah, we found it in this ending on him with the Myrmidon's writing on it.
Yeah. Next are Clover and Temioji. The first question is, who put the handcuffs on them? The clue is the message Clover left, 016. If you think about it, though, it doesn't make sense. Clover's left hand was in the handcuffs. That means she would have had to write with her right hand on her right thigh. I feel like it would have been really hard to do that, you know? Why not just use your left thigh? The thing is, I think she did. When she died, her legs slumped together and the message got transferred to the right thigh. We just never saw the original because we didn't bother to check the other leg. In other words, she wasn't trying to write 016. She was trying to write Dio. Oh my god.
You
They did
actually
it to me-
mentioned the thigh thing, which I was surprised about.
Did I?
I think so. You mentioned like she wrote on the same side, which would be hard to do, which is why you thought that there might be like a mistake in it or something like that. I think.
I don't think so. I don't think I was that clever.
You didn't.
Because that
get
also means
anything
that I
out of it,
entirely
but-
forgot about it and then got surprised by it now.
Yeah.
But I just can't believe they've done this to me again. Like, this is Leon 2.0. And I thought,
Yeah.
man, I'd never fall for that trick a second time. And it's like, well, I just did.
Yeah.
Ugh. But they're right. They're totally right. With her dying breath, she was trying to tell us the name of her killer.
Yeah, you didn't get anywhere with that logic, but you did have the logic I remember of, like, it's weird that she wrote it on that side of her leg or something like that.
Mm-hmm. It depends how you read it. It could be like a 016. It could be 910. Is it supposed to be a distorted Dio or something?
Maybe. Didn't we see something that said 016 in the secret logs thing?
So she's saying the robot 016 did this.
Maybe. It might
Or
also
she
be
would-
the Dio thing you mentioned.
Maybe Dio is 016.
It is weird that you would write Dio with a lowercase d, though.
It's also backwards is the bigger issue, I think. I figured that it could be a little distorted from what she was trying to write, so it needs some poetic interpretation because she's probably struggling to write this. And also think about what hand she's using in the angle. If she was writing Dio, it would have to be upside down, which is even more awkward. So from her standpoint, it would have to be more or less the way we're seeing it. Or else it could be like OLB, but OLB doesn't really make any sense. So it probably is 016. So the robot, which the leading suspect for that is K, now it becomes especially important that I wish we'd taken K's mask off. I'll be interested to see that in the edit when I go back then. Because apparently I was smarter a few episodes ago than I am now. Now, about K and Dio. I think there's a pretty good chance Dio killed K. Here's how I imagine it happened. Kay probably sprayed Dio's bracelet with the luminol. We found the bottle in Kay's robe. He wouldn't have seen the reaction immediately, but Dio would have known what was coming. As soon as Kay turned the lights off, it would be clear that Dio had taken the old woman's bracelet. My guess is he decided to take preemptive action. When we found their bodies, the lights in the rec room were on. Maybe Kay turned to switch the light off, and Dio took that opportunity to attack him. Kay was hurt pretty badly, but he didn't die right away. He probably managed to grab the spear and stab Dio. Then he died. So that accounts for all 6 bodies, none of them your fault. Well, that clears up everything that happened quite nicely.
Yeah, I forgot just how detailed this was about every murder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you don't think I did it, but
Or at least
But the truth is, you're wrong, and I did all of it.
The K and, Dio one was the only one I forgot, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
all of your theories are just, well, theories. Like Alice committing suicide. How can you be sure? Say she was infected with Radical 6. She could have been murdered before her symptoms even began to present themselves.
Yeah, but then who, how, why?
As for Clover and Tenmyoji, I could easily have killed them. You don't have any proof that Clover's message was mirrored like you say, or even that it was supposed to refer to Dio.
In theory, we could go check that right now. The proof would be checking her other leg.
Yeah.
Even if it did, that's not conclusive evidence of his guilt.
I mean, it's pretty damning.
The same goes for Kay
She could have
and Dio.
written it after the fact or something, so.
Mm-hmm. True.
I could have killed them both. Why do you trust me so much? I'm a machine. I'm part of this place. How can you trust a machine?
That's why I trust you.
What?
I trust you because you're a robot. Your robotness is just one more reason you can't be the killer. Well, 3 more reasons. 4, technically.
Have you ever heard of the 3 laws of robotics?
Actually, the 4th one kind of makes the other 3 less likely.
Yeah, though Sigma never told them, I guess. Or
Yeah.
the 0th
Sigma
one.
didn't get the whole rule book.
Yeah.
A robot without the 3 laws is just a bunch of metal and plastic. Sigma.
Luna, I have to ask you. Can you tell me, well, everything you know? Just, it's a small thing, but I would like to know all about this game. Your mind is in the central server. You should know everything that's happened here. There was a long pause. Luna stood up and walked deeper into the garden. I followed her in silence. Eventually, we reached the bench. Luna quietly sat down, and, just like last time, I lowered myself down beside her.
You were right. I didn't kill them. How should I explain? Well, actually, you got most of it right.
Most? That doesn't matter. Tell me everything. What didn't I get
Well,
right?
first, yes, Dio did sneak into the facility. He used the large cargo elevator and came into the warehouse on floor A through the number 9 door. Since the game hadn't started yet, anyone could go through it.
That doesn't really sound like sneaking. It sounds more like he just walked in.
Yes, I guess you could say that. He did get in pretty easily. But that's because Zero Jr. lured him here.
What do you mean?
Dio wasn't a surprise. Both Zeros knew that he was going to come.
So they brought him here?
In a way,
But why?
because his presence was an important part of Zero's project.
What project?
I can't go into that right now. We'd be here forever. Right now, let's just focus on the murders, okay? Anyway, Dio found his way in. They made sure he didn't know that he was actually being let in.
So why did he come here?
To make sure Zero's project failed. His first step was to pretend to be one of the players. As for how he did that, you had it pretty much right. The old woman was the first one out, and he killed her under the graffiti. He put her bracelet on after he wiped the blood off it with the handkerchief. Then he wrapped the knife up and hid it between the 5th and 6th AB rooms,
5th and 6th?
counting from the left in their original placement.
In other words, the rightmost room would be the 6th room, and the one next to it would be the 5th.
Right. After that, he went back into the 5th AB room where Quark was sleeping. Then he just waited for Quark to wake up.
What were you doing while that was happening?
Nothing. I couldn't do anything. My body had been turned off. Zero Jr. had powered me down. My body wasn't activated until after Dio went into the 5th room. I couldn't help her. All I could do was watch while she was murdered. Everything in this place is controlled by Zero Jr. I couldn't try and prevent Dio from getting in either.
Wait, if Zero Jr. controls everything, Then he was the one who moved the 6th room with the crane.
Yes, that's right. Zero Jr. moved the room, not me.
Then who moved the old woman?
Me. It took me 10 minutes to get out of my AB room once I was turned back on. I ran over to check on her as soon as I did. Then I carried her back to the room I'd been in.
Why did you do that?
Because I was ordered to.
What? By who? Zero Jr. or Zero Senior?
Luna,
Or
listen
her.
to me very carefully. As you already know, the final stage of the project begins in 2 hours. This will be the culmination of many years of hard work. We cannot afford failure.
Yes, I understand.
Then let's make sure. What is your mission?
Enter the nonary game as one of the participants and observe the actions of the other players. Ensure that they do what they are supposed to and guide them down the correct paths.
How many players will there be?
Myself and 7 others, ma'am. Will you be participating as well?
Yes, our plan dictates that I must.
Yourself and 7 others? That adds up
An
8.
individual by the name of Dio
I'm
will
guessing
be
Dio
entering
will be
this
counted or
facility
something.
presently. He has
Right.
been led to believe he is doing so undetected.
In Luna or something.
You've been briefed on him already, correct?
Yes. He will murder the first person to leave one of the AB rooms and take their place. If a pair is the first out, he'll probably kill both of them. That's all the information I've been given on him, ma'am.
Is there a problem?
With all due respect, ma'am, I would like to state that I don't feel right about this. We know someone is going to be killed, and we're just going to let it happen? I also have doubts about the use of Radical 6. Are you sure? Infecting all these people with such a horrible disease.
That is none of your concern. Your only concern is to follow your orders.
But
Luna, I am giving you an order. I am in command and you do as I say. You are programmed to do as I say. You know this.
But she can't follow orders that would allow somebody else to come to harm.
yes,
But that's probably why she was switched off at the time.
Yeah.
Good. Now, I have one final order.
another order, ma'am?
Unless the
Yes.
success of this project is more important for humanity.
I suppose, yeah.
When you leave the AB room, the person Dio has killed will still be there. I would like you to move them.
Where?
To the room you are about to enter, the 6th AB room.
But why?
Not your concern. As a participant in the game, you must have as little knowledge of it as possible. That is why I have made sure you are unable to access any classified data.
Great.
There are things you must not know. In order for this project to succeed, we need you to be as close to a clean slate as possible. There are some things you already know, which ideally you would not. Unfortunately, this is unavoidable, so you must refrain from divulging anything you know about the project to the other participants. You must never tell anyone what you know about Dio, or the body, or that you carried it to the 6th AB room. You will have to pretend you know nothing more than the rest of the participants.
Is that an order?
Yes. Do I make myself clear?
She's explaining now, though.
Yes.
Well, those
I mean,
are
this
like
is-
the unavoidable things that she has to know to make sure that it works.
After that, I went into the AB room as I'd been told to.
No, what I mean is, like, she's been explicitly ordered to not to divulge the information that she is currently in the process of divulging.
Oh,
Like she was ordered not to tell that she moved the body. Well, she's telling us now.
Yeah.
And it's a very human thing to say it doesn't really matter at this point, but even then she already knows about the jumping. If she tells us at any point in time, it could get back to who knows where.
Yeah, it's a bit complicated. So.
As soon as I stepped inside, my body deactivated.
It's also just being told from flashback, so it's possible she didn't actually say that
computer,
to us.
I was still
So,
awake.
Right.
I guess she did still say that she moved the body.
So I still saw everything. While I waited, I used the security cameras to see what was going on in the rest of the facility.
And you saw the old woman being murdered.
Yes, it was hard. What I was seeing made no sense. Several of my higher level processes nearly failed. To think that she would be the first person to come out.
I mean, that was presumably planned.
She knew that Dio was going to kill her. When she'd said she had one final order for me, I didn't understand what she meant. Like a fool, I told her I didn't approve, when I had no idea what she was prepared to do. When she died, whatever I have that passes for a heart felt like it snapped in two.
I think I understand. Everything you did because you'd been ordered to?
Yes.
And it was the old woman who gave you those orders? Then is she Zero Senior?
No.
What? But if she gave you the orders...
She did, but she wasn't the only person I took orders from.
There was someone else?
Yes.
And that person is Zero Senior?
Yes. They worked together to develop the project she mentioned. So I suppose, technically, my orders came from both of them. And they were both controlling Zero Junior, too. I told you before that Zero Junior moved the 6th AB room. Although that's strictly true, he didn't do it of his own free will. They ordered him to do it. He was following orders just like me.
But why?
I don't know. I really don't. Maybe they did it so that people wouldn't suspect me.
If they didn't want people to suspect you, then why have you moved the body in the first place? Eventually we'd figure out that the rooms had been moved, and that she was in your room.
Then maybe they wanted the opposite.
You mean...
Maybe they wanted you to suspect me.
That doesn't make sense either. If they wanted people to suspect you, why move the room?
You're right. Then maybe they only wanted certain people to be suspicious of me.
You mean like Alice?
Yes. Perhaps they wanted Alice to find the handkerchief and the knife. That would explain why they moved the room.
So they somehow knew Dio would hide the knife there?
Yes, I think so.
But how could they know that? Because Dio's also a robot.
Well,
he's not a
whatever
clone
the reasons
after all.
were, Alice did notice that the room was moved. Which meant that Clover also figured it out. And just like you said, Alice used the knife too. Clover didn't realize that, though. Or perhaps she didn't want to. In any event, she decided that I must have killed Alice to keep her quiet. So she confronted me. It was right after the second round of the AB game. Using Phi's timetable, that would be 0 hours, 0 minutes.
Wait. You were listening to us in the security office.
Yes. That wasn't all I was listening to, though. I know everything that happened in the facility after my body collapsed.
You were watching through the security cameras.
Yes, I was. I could see and hear everything. Anyway, we're at 0 hours, 0 minutes. I was in the hallway on floor A when Clover found me and took me to room 2 in the crew quarters. We entered at about 0 hours, 1 minute. She was very forceful.
I know you killed Alice. Tell me the truth and I'll let you live. Now fess up! I'm only gonna give you one chance. If you lie,
or try to play dumb or something, I'll kill you right in front of her!
I told her the truth, of course. I explained that I hadn't killed Alice, that she'd been infected with Radical 6, and it had caused her to kill herself. Clover was never going to believe that, though. We argued about it for nearly 9 minutes. It wasn't just Alice she asked me about. She asked me about the murder of the old woman and about the AB room being moved. She wasn't very nice about it, but I couldn't answer any of her questions.
Because of your orders.
Yes. Then, at about 0 hours, 10 minutes, she must have run out of patience. She stuck her hand in her pocket and started moving toward me. She backed me up against the wall and pulled her hand out of her pocket. She was holding the injection gun. I tried to take it away from her. I even screamed for help. She refused to let go, of course. While we were fighting over it,
Whoa, hold on a minute. The trigger got pulled in the fight. I get that part. What I don't understand is why it did anything to you.
You mean because I'm a golem?
Yeah.
One of my orders was always to act like I was one of the players. A human. Any human injected with that amount of tubocurarine would die.
That's why you, died. To keep up the facade that you were human.
No. I collapsed because Zero Jr. turned off the power to my body again. He probably felt he had to. Maintaining the illusion that I was human was probably in his orders, too. So to make it look like I had died, he'd turned the power off. Whatever the case, it was an accident. I don't think Clover ever intended to actually kill me.
That explains her panic.
She only took the injection gun to try and threaten me.
How can you be sure?
When I collapsed, she looked terrified. She checked for my pulse and listened to see if I was breathing. She also shook my body and called out to me several times.
No
If
camera.
she meant to kill me, why do all that?
No camera covered that angle, and her body was turned off, so she couldn't see out of that, though. So how does she know any of that? I guess she would have had audio,
Maybe,
so she could
yeah.
at least have heard that, but she still wouldn't have been able to see most of that.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It might also be that she was turned off, but like not her senses, just her movement or something.
Just her motors, maybe.
Yeah.
After a few moments, she ran off to the infirmary to get the AED.
You mean the defibrillator?
Yes,
That uses an electric shock to restart the heart, right?
correct.
So that was why she left.
Yes.
At 0 hours, 11 minutes, 40 seconds, Clover left the cabin in the crew quarters.
She ran off toward the infirmary. On the way, she bumped into Dio. Yes.
Dio?
I guess she just saw him, really. They didn't talk. She just ran past.
And he just watched her go by?
Yes. I imagine he was curious, of course. He probably wondered what she was doing. But he chose not to go after her. He had something else to do.
At 0 hours, 12 minutes, Dio enters the room.
He seemed pretty surprised to find my body.
Yeah, I bet.
It didn't take him long to get over it, though.
Wouldn't imagine it would. What did he do then?
He'd gone there for 2 reasons. One was to get Alice's bracelet, which was a blue solo.
Right. Without it, Dio and Kay, the yellow pair, wouldn't be able to get through the secondary door. Right?
Yeah, but he couldn't find it.
Of course! Phi had already taken it by then.
Yes. But there was something else he wanted to do, too. He was there to take the knife. Removing it was gruesome.
But why did he want the knife? And also, that wasn't on camera, so how did you see it? Because also, she did say that Zero cut power to her body, so you'd think that would cut the sensors as well.
I guess. I don't know.
I feel like there's a plot hole here. Was it because he'd used it to kill the old woman?
No, I don't think so.
Then what do you think?
I think he didn't want anyone to see the engraving on the knife's blade. That's why he hid it so well after he killed the old woman.
She might also just be able to tell from the
remember what it
audio,
said?
because the audio was jumbled up, but might not have necessarily been, like, untranslatable. For a
Yeah, no,
robot.
she could definitely hear it because it was just encoded in a computer format. Why wouldn't he want anyone to see that? And then she said, do you remember what it said? I accidentally skipped over that bit of dialogue.
There was a word engraved on the blade.
Myrmidons.
Yes,
What does Myrmidons mean?
it's the name of the organization he belongs to.
What is it? Like a club or something?
I don't think so.
Well, what is it then?
I don't really know.
No idea?
I'm afraid not.
Why don't we know? Wait, wasn't he here to try and stop whatever Zero was doing?
Yes,
Then, wouldn't that mean he's on our side?
I don't know about that. He's killed 4 people. I'm not really sure he's on anyone's side.
You've got a point. Damn it, this is ridiculous. I guess this enemy of my enemy isn't my friend, huh?
May I continue?
Yeah, keep going. After he took the knife, Dio rifled through what few belongings Alice had. Luna said he didn't seem to be looking for anything in particular. He was probably just checking to see if she had anything useful. That was where he found the key to Kay's suit. He didn't seem to have any particular reason for taking it, at least as far as Luna could tell. At 0 hours 13 minutes, Dio left the room.
He heard Kay opening the cyan door and ran out. When he left, he was heading toward the infirmary. My guess is that he was going after Clover. He found her with the AED. She was probably planning to just ignore him and head back, but Theo didn't let her.
Hey, wait. Just what are you planning to do with that thing? Thinking about trying to resuscitate Luna? And why would you want to do that? You were the one who killed her, weren't you?
When Clover tried to push past Dio, Luna said they began to fight.
The fuck do you think you're doing?
Dio pulled the knife out of his pocket and pointed it at Clover's throat. That was when he showed up. Temioji did, I guess.
Also, I guess with the camera thing,
What the
we
hell are
only
you
have...
doing?
For us, we only had the camera feed that Golem pulled out, but it's possible Luna had more camera feed options in that Golem.
I thought we had all the camera feeds from the security room.
I'm pretty sure
we
it's
were
just
looking-
what Golem saved.
Oh, right, we
Means-
had the ones that particular golem looked at.
Golem the Golem. Not
I see
all
what you're
golems.
saying. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So she probably did have some additional angles.
None of your goddamn business. Stay out of this, you senile old shit.
Like hell, you son of a bitch!
He let out a yell and leapt toward Dio. The younger man dodged him easily and lashed out with the knife. Temioji caught Dio's hand with a grunt, and for a moment the two men struggled. Then, as the knife edged closer, he wrapped his other hand around the blade and tried to force it away. That's that grisly hand wound that he had. But Dio was a much younger and stronger man, and the wound Temioji gave himself with the knife didn't do him any favors. He put up a valiant fight, but with a roar Dio threw him off, and Temioji collapsed to the floor.
What are you going to do?
Let's see. How about this?
I'm surprised Clover didn't jump on him when he was fighting with Temioji.
How cute. You two really look great together, you know?
What are you going to do to us?
Isn't it obvious? I'm gonna handcuff you to a sink. Actually, I already have.
Are you gonna beat us to death or something?
Ugh, no. Nothing so tasteless.
What are you going to do then?
How'd you like to make a bet?
A bet?
You've got, 20-some minutes until the primary white doors open. So I'd say you've got 25 minutes until they close. Give or take. If somebody happens to come by here before the doors close, you might live. But if nobody finds you, well...
We'll be penalized.
Exactly. So, I suggest you start screaming for help now. Unfortunately for you, just about all the rooms in this place are behind at least 2 nice thick doors. So unless they're pretty close, nobody's gonna hear you scream. Well, I'm off to the Floorby warehouse, okay? Enjoy your last 25 minutes. Later.
That was awfully risky.
25 minutes passed and no one came. Of course, by then there were only 3 other people who could have come, apart from Dio.
You mean me, Phi, and Kay, right?
Yes. You were in the crew quarters at this point.
Yeah. Kay had told us about you. We'd also noticed that the knife in Alice's chest had been removed. If only we'd known what was happening in the infirmary.
Unfortunately for Clover and Tenmyoji, their time had come.
If only it was possible to, go back and have knowledge of other routes that would let us find them in time.
Once the primary white door closed, both of their bracelets injected them with Soparil.
The anesthetic, right?
Yes. Almost immediately they started to feel sleepy. I think that's when Clover realized she was definitely going to die. That was when she decided to leave her message. Just as you said, she wrote on her left thigh with her right hand.
And the word she wrote was Dio.
Yes. As for what happened in the rec room, well, I guess I don't really need to tell you. Your theory was essentially correct. What you said was what happened.
Well, at least something was correct. So Kay sprayed Dio's bracelet with the luminol, and then while his back was turned, Dio attacked him with the axe. Dio mortally wounded him, but didn't kill him, so Kay turned around and stabbed Dio with the spear. And I guess that's when we found them.
Yes.
When did Kay get the luminol?
After they went through the white door, Dio and Kay found themselves in the director's office. When they were done there, they headed back to floor A to look for everyone else.
More importantly, how did they solve that puzzle without a picture? Please tell us that one.
They went to the crew quarters first, then to the infirmary. Of course, they found Clover and Tenmyoji's bodies there. Dio expected to find them, of course, but he pretended to be shocked. Anyway, Kay checked them over for anything useful.
And that was when he found the luminol.
Right.
Which Tenmyoji had been running around with because he had worked out the bracelet thing.
Yeah.
So then he must have figured out that that's what Tenmyoji was planning, and then gotten the idea to spray Dio.
That's everything that happened. Do you have any questions?
Will there be a test? Well, what do you think? Does a bear shit in the woods? Well, the first thing is Quark's bracelet. Why was it in the infirmary?
Tenmyoji had it. Then when Dio attacked him, it fell out of his pocket.
But why did Tenmyoji have Quark's bracelet?
I told him where it was.
When?
Do you remember when you were in the rec room with Phi and Tenmyoji?
Yeah, when he sprayed us with the luminol, right? Sure, I remember that.
Right after then. When he left the rec room, he went toward the green door to look for Quark. I ran into him at the end of the hallway, where the 3 doors and the switch are. That was when I told him. Look, Tenmyoji. The center door is unlocked. He took off through it without another word.
That was the treatment room, right?
Yes.
Where Quark was sleeping.
Right. It only took him a moment. As soon as he saw Quark, he ran to his pod and started crying.
Out of relief, right?
Yes. The display on the pod showed Quark's vital signs. It was obvious he was alive the moment you looked at it. Next to the pod was Quark's bracelet. That was how Tenmyoji got it.
Why was Quark's bracelet off?
I took it off.
How?
Aluminum foil.
What? You mean the stuff from the crew quarters?
Oh, you found it? Did you know that aluminum foil has electromagnetic shielding properties?
What?
Here's an exciting fact. Your heart creates a bunch of faint electrical impulses. Anyway, the point is that you can detect the electricity that your heart makes by pumping blood. Your fancy little bracelets pick up on that. They're always watching.
I said that was really hard to get work and that you could probably put something in there to fool it. Wait, so you're telling me the aluminum foil can block the electromagnetic waves your heart sends out?
Yes. All you have to do is wrap it around your bracelet.
And the bracelet thinks your heart is stopped?
Yes.
Holy shit!
And you also left that in the game?
Yeah. It was that easy all along. So now, if we jump back, with our present knowledge, we can be like, hey guys, we can all just take all these bracelets off right now. Apart from maybe Kay.
Anyway, I used some aluminum foil to get Quark's bracelet off. Then I put it next to the pod.
Wait, why was Quark in the pod to begin with?
Oh, that's easy. I put him there.
When did you do that?
Remember when we were first looking for Quark? I found him unconscious near the entrance to the Golem Bay.
So you carried him to the treatment pod?
Yes.
Were you the one who unlocked the treatment center, too?
No, I was not. I do not have the authority to operate any of this facility's machinery.
So it was Zero Jr. She did operate the handle once as a player when she opened the door.
That's like to give the disguise of being a human, and it can also be controlled by Zero Jr. if this...
So I guess, basically she's saying she doesn't have any authority to do anything a normal player couldn't do.
Yeah.
So it was Zero Jr.
That's right.
He reactivated your body too, right? Man, I don't get any of this. Why the hell did he do that? I guess it wasn't really him that did it, huh? He was just doing what Zero Senior and the old lady told him to do. Everything leads back to them, huh? Of course it does. So, are you going to tell me?
Tell you what?
Isn't that obvious? Tell me what this project is. Everything that happens in here has something to do with it. So why were we brought here?
To play the nonary game.
And why were we supposed to play the nonary game?
That was part of the project.
Why did Alice kill herself?
Because she was infected with Radical 6.
How did she get infected?
Zero Senior and the old woman did that.
Why?
It was a necessary evil. It had to happen for the project to succeed.
What would have happened if Alice hadn't committed suicide?
Clover wouldn't have suspected me, and she wouldn't have accidentally, killed me.
Then what?
I wouldn't have collapsed, and Dio wouldn't have found my body. That would have meant the confrontation in the infirmary never took place.
In other words, you're saying Clover and Tenmyoji died for this project.
Yes.
Well, actually, it was the turbocurine that killed them. But they were only injected with it because of their bracelets, and they were only wearing those bracelets because of the nonary game. If the nonary game was part of the project, then that's one more way it killed them.
I guess, if you want to look at it that way.
Now what about Kay and Dio? Why would they kill each other?
Because Dio killed the old woman. He was worried about getting caught, so he tried to kill Kay before he could find out the truth.
Then if Dio hadn't killed the old lady, what happened in the rec room would never have taken place, right?
Yes.
So let me ask you this. Why did Dio kill her?
So that he could pose as one of the participants.
And why did he do that?
To disrupt the project.
Then why did she let him kill her?
The same reason they did all of this. It was a necessary evil. The project couldn't be allowed to fail.
Those two things seem at first to be very much at odds with each other.
Yeah, but it's because the old woman has more information than Dio, probably.
Yeah. Well, it's a line of battle, right? You know,
Yeah.
where both parties agree because they think they have an advantage, but only one of them is right. 6 people died here. 4 of them were murdered, one way or another, by Dio. At first, that makes it look like Dio's the reason they all died, but that's not true, is it? All of them, all 6 of them, they all died for this project. That means that the murderer, or I guess I should say, murderers, were the old lady and Zero Senior, right? Please, Luna, tell me. What is this project about? Who is the old woman? Who is Zero?
Sigma. Would you hug me?
What? Instead of answering, Luna wrapped her arms around me and buried her face in my chest. My own arms hovered in the air, confused about where they should go. I swallowed hard and tried to rein in my heartbeat, which had suddenly doubled. I was about to speak when I felt something warm on my chest. Was Luna lying?
This feels nice.
Her voice shook as she spoke. I lowered one hand to her head and began to gently stroke her hair. Hey, Luna? What the hell is going on?
I'm sorry. My ABT is usually held in place by muscle fiber, but after Clover gave me the tubocurarine...
Okay. I get it.
Does it scare you? This is what I really look like. I'm a golem. Just a machine. A jumble of metal and plastic that pretends to be real.
I wrapped my arms around Luna and hugged her as tight as I could.
You believed in me this whole time.
Yeah,
Even though I look like this?
of course. I trust you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I wish I could stay here forever. You feel so nice. But I think my time is up.
What?
I've done things I really shouldn't have. Do you remember what you asked me earlier? About if Zero Jr. had reactivated my body? Remember? The truth is, he didn't. I did. I went to the part of the core that controls Zero Jr., and I hacked it.
What?
Yes, that was the first thing. The second. Do you know what the second one was?
You told me things you shouldn't have?
If I had really wanted to, I could have saved Clover and Tenmyoji. Then Kei and Dio probably wouldn't have killed each other. That's not all. I could have stopped Alice from killing herself, and I could have even saved the old woman at the very beginning. In other words, I had the ability to disobey my orders. But I didn't. That's the second thing. I broke the first law. I was scared. I was afraid to die. Obviously, hacking the core and taking control of Zero Jr.'s systems is very, very bad. Golems who don't follow orders can become dangerous, so we're terminated if we disobey. You lose access to your body, of course, but everything that's stored in the core, your memories, your consciousness, is deleted.
What? Wait, are you saying...
Yes. Very soon now I'll be gone. Zero Jr. is probably recovering himself right now. Once he's done, I doubt I'll be around much longer.
What? Why?
I watched 6 people die and did nothing. I deserve this.
No. No, you don't. Even if you had done something, you would have been killed anyway. You can't blame yourself. You did what you could. You're not wrong. This game is what's wrong. Forcing you to watch your friends die is what's wrong.
Oh, Sigma, thank you. I'm really glad I met you.
Luna! Luna! It's going to be okay. I'm not gonna let them do this. You're gonna be fine, I promise. Just please don't.
Sorry. My time's up. At least I get to die in your arms.
Luna!
Thank you, Sigma. And goodbye, Doctor.
Doctor? But she couldn't answer. I squeezed my eyes shut and held her, unable to bear the thought of letting any more of her slip away. Doctor, is that what she calls Zero? With one last quiet chime, the music box wound down. I was left with nothing but silence and the cold pool of tears over my heart. So that's the Luna end, I take it.
Yeah. The second hardest ending to reach. And so obviously it's like a very important and emotional one.
Yeah. Achievement unlocked. Tears in the rain. So that's all but one main ending.
Mm-hmm.
And then we still have this one little offshoot.
Yeah. We can betray Luna after seeing all that.
Yeah. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
When we betray Luna immediately after all that.
Yeah. This is like the reverse of Temnioji. She doesn't deserve this. But
Remain until polling closes.
This time I feel legitimately bad about doing this, but I do wonder how it will change things, though. I imagine that mostly everything's going to be the same.
Yeah.
Except, I guess we'll leave with Phi, because we didn't end up trusting Luna.
We don't even really gain much from betraying, because, like, if she betrayed us, we still wouldn't be able to get out if we betrayed.
Betray. I guess what we gain is that we don't lose points if she hops in and betrays us.
Yeah.
And then the assignments would shuffle around between rounds.
Yeah.
So then we could work with Phi to ally with each other to get out the door instead.
Yeah, but, like, you would eventually get out anyways.
True. Luna! Where's Luna? I leapt out of the door and ran toward the AB room I thought she'd entered, but she's gone. Where'd she go?
That's odd. We came out the moment the gates opened.
Isn't this...
There's no way
It's
she
new.
could have left already.
It's the same so far, at least.
Yeah, just the game's not letting me skip for some reason. Yeah, so this is just so far the same. I'll keep skipping ahead until something is different.
Yeah, this will be different, obviously, which this will probably change the dialogue. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm. So we betray her, that brings us to 10 and her to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Points have been assigned. Please.
Since Luna didn't vote, she and the other 6 got...
Yep, we all know this, and there's a few more rules. We still don't know why she
I can
showed
only guess
up.
at her reasons. So what do we do now? Do you want to leave?
We still don't know if Quark is safe.
Yeah, a lot of it's the same, actually. That's probably why
Yeah.
I didn't remember it.
Why isn't it letting us skip if so much is the same?
I don't know. They might have just not thought about it too hard. It is annoying to just have to, like, look through every room now, though.
Yeah.
This
Not
is
here
the
either.
last room. Well, the last room we can get into.
And we haven't seen Luna either, or see her.
Yeah.
Where the hell did she go? We were standing there trying to decide what to do next when we heard a familiar voice echo through the facility.
The number 9 door has been opened.
Oh, well, this is different.
It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Well, now we're screwed.
Yeah.
What?
No, that's not possible.
Phi looks much calmer than she sounds.
Yeah.
What's not possible? But she only bit her lip and said nothing. Then all too soon it was over.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank as the escape, please.
Great, so now we're stuck. What? What just happened? It's all over now, isn't it? We're stuck here. Forever.
We should go back to the Floor A warehouse. I need to know if the door actually opened or not.
With that, she was off. Yeah. With a sigh, I turned to follow. Are we gonna see Luna? We can't just look at the door and tell if it was opened or not.
True, but the projection should tell us.
What? Luna and Quark escaped?
So it would seem.
Why? How? Almost as if on cue, the screen flickered. And Zero Jr. appeared.
Well, well, well! Long time no Zero! Remember your old pal Zero?
You!
I'm guessing somebody's hoping for an explanation about what the diddly-o just happened. Because we're such great friends, I decided to make an exception and descend from on high to give you the 411. Aren't you happy?
Actually, I would like an explanation, yeah.
So what's this explanation you've got?
Well, let's start with little Quark. He was given an anesthetic that put him to sleep. While he was out, Luna carried him through to the other side of the number 9 door.
But how did she open the door?
With Quark's bracelet, you silly bunny. It was still in the infirmary. Remember? Luna just hopped over there and picked it up.
So I was right. Quark had 9 BP when the second round ended.
Yup.
But didn't he get penalized after the third round?
Yes, he did. But a penalty carrot take away your points. Just your life. The needles popped out and so on, but the points stayed the same.
So Luna took Quark to the door.
And since her bracelet was already off, she wouldn't have suffered the penalty.
No. But it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Oh, right. She's a golem.
All right. I think my tale is through.
Okay, well, I've got some questions for you, buddy.
Not you.
Well, good thing you guys don't have questions for V. That guy's a jerk.
This isn't the alphabet.
You must be feeling pretty good if you're able to joke around like that. I mean, 6 people just died here.
It's not really a big deal. That's just how you humans are, after all. So, as long as you make it, nothing else matters. Am I right?
No, you're wrong.
Don't screw with us.
It's cool. It's cool. I know you gotta act tough. I mean, you chose betray. That means you don't trust Luna, right? Figures? She's a golem. She might even be a murderer. That's why you were planning to leave her here and bone out, wasn't it? You see, it's all about you. Haven't you thought about how sad you've made Luna?
What?
Well, looks like my time here's just about all used up.
Wait! I still have questions for...
I won't wait. I don't like waiting. I waited once, and some half-witted reptile got the better of me because of it.
Oh.
Tortoise in the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a second too.
Make sure to value my time.
The tortoise and the hare.
Alrighty then. I'll see you when I see ya. Have a nice trader.
What a fitting, have a nice thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was kind of wondering what it was going to be. Not disappointed. For a few long moments, Fi and I just stared at the spot on the wall where Zero had disappeared. Where had Quark been? Who had given him an anesthetic? And why? We had no idea who'd killed everyone. And Zero Senior's identity, as well as the purpose of the nonary game, remained a mystery. As for our futures, what are we supposed to do now? I hadn't meant to say the words out loud, but there they were.
The tortoise won because he kept going even when it looked hopeless. I think we should do the same. We've got plenty of time after all. We'll give the dead the closest thing to a funeral we can manage. And when that's done, we'll start looking. Even if I never leave this place, I'll figure out why we were here. I swear it.
I looked at the fire in her eyes and nodded. Nothing else. At least we had a purpose. And you know, I feel like it might take 20 or 30 years, but I think you could get out that door. I don't know how long it would take precisely, because it depends like what you could improvise for tools and things, what you could find throughout the facility. But I got to imagine with a dedicated effort and the things in the facility, with enough time, you could eventually bust your way out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a sturdy door, but it's not that indestructible. All right, well, that is now it for the Luna route. So the Luna and Temioji routes have been completely cleared, and Alice has been mostly cleared. The only thing that's left is we have one more route on the true end for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And there, we are in the middle of dismantling the bombs, but we had to stop because we didn't have the number 1 password. Now, we have all the passwords, we have all the information, so we can pick back up at the number 1 bomb and keep going all the way to the end. That will be next time. In the meanwhile, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you all then.
Bye.